All right. So, Paul, what made you decide to do a podcast, my friend?
Well, I would say COVID-19. So last March, we talked about March, kind of like everything shutting down and kind of the waiting game.
Mm.
No sports are on TV. You got a lot of free time with family, just kind of like a lot of free time. So I just kind of started listening to more podcasts. I wasn't really into podcasts at the time. Started listening. I think got introduced to Fusion Podcast and a couple others. It's like, you know what? That'd be neat to do something. I know a lot of
Wait.
athletes.
That's so nice. You know, it was, I could do that. You know what? I could do that.
So I did some research, right? And COVID, I thought, how hard can it be, right? If Brendan can do it. Right?
Exactly.
But then I researched it, like, there's a lot involved, like audio quality and what microphone and how do you edit and engineer, then promote it and monetize and stuff I don't understand. I still don't understand. I have people helping me. But I thought, it'd be kind of neat to kind of have a interview, like people that I enjoy talking to, like, man, that'd be a neat story to share. It's like whether it's Casey or Les Parker, like, man, there's some neat stories. So I thought, have them come on and not talk about X's and O's or stat sheet or the sport itself, although there's an element to it, but just talk about their upbringing, talk about their family, and really try to drive towards, how does, tell us your salvation testimony, but how does your faith get you through the season-ending injury? How does your faith, can you be a competitor? Can you be successful at your sport and still be a Christian?
God has put you in such a compelling situation where you are around these young men who are trying to make it to the pinnacle of their career success, and here you are, this guy along the way, and the ones who didn't make it and the ones who did make it, but most of all, you got to see, that story along the way, and to be able to now connect with them and hear firsthand, or have them share firsthand what was God's hand in all of this is so compelling.
I look at it, I think it's good for the listener who might be the Penguin fan or the Yankees or Mets fan or basketball fan to say, oh, I didn't know he was a Christ follower. Maybe pay more attention and cheer for him. But I think just their insight in the sports world could be an impact to me. Hey, how can I be a better father? Hey, he's taking a stand in his profession. Man, I could be more bold for Christ in mine. So I think it's good for the listener. I also think it's good for the person being interviewed, especially the athlete. If they haven't gone public with their faith or they're not sure how to do it, it's like, man, here's a chance just to let me ask the questions. I'm not going to put them on the spot. It's not a 60 minutes gotcha conversation. It's like, hey, let's talk about your faith story, and how does going to Hockey Chapel, or how does your daily spiritual discipline help you not just be a better player, but be a better Christian. So I think it's a win-win for the listener, but also for that athlete being interviewed to say, hey, I can use my platform to kind of iron sharpens iron for the person on the other end of the podcast.